Hi everybody! I wanted to come on today and talk about my recent decision to fail and why that's actually a really good thing. It has everything to do with my perspective. So I'm going to cover a bit about intuition, survival, support, and this book, Everything is Figure-Outable. The reason I say I succeeded at failing is because I've adopted an acronym out of FAIL that Marie Forleo goes into in this book, which is changing the meaning to faithful attempt in learning. I love that perspective, and I can take it quite literally in my case because the decision to fail was leaving my master's degree. So I finished a semester. I could have done another semester, an internship, and a thesis, and finished in September of this year. But I realized, in the blog post I go into quite a bit of detail about it, so I can link it here, I realized that it was not right for me. And so at first I thought, well, does that mean that I'm failing if I leave? In the sense, the old sense of failing, that I didn't accomplish something I set out to achieve, or that maybe it said something bad about me. But then I really practiced some of the exercises I've been doing to get more in touch with my intuition, as that's a big part of a New Year's resolution I made this year. And I realized that when I thought about leaving, instead of the anxious, like, I'm making a mistake, fearful kind of experience that I have in other situations, which I feel physically very much in my chest and my shoulders, and it's a lot of tension, and there's this chatter in my mind. In this case, when I thought about leaving and the freedom that that gave me and what I could do instead, writing and building my business and helping people find their voice, it just dropped into my stomach, literally into my gut, and I could feel it so clearly. And I knew I was going to make the right decision because of that. I had a sense of intuition about it, and that's something I had to practice for. So then I used another technique, another skill that I've learned over the past couple of years that I've used before, even when my sense of intuition or an internal compass wasn't quite as strong. And it's a cognitive behavioral therapy technique, which is, you can kind of short form it and ask yourself, what is the absolute worst thing that can happen? And can I survive it? So actually, again, this book uses that CBT technique. So if you wanted some instruction as well as everything else that it has to offer, you could possibly learn it through there. So I thought, if I leave my master's degree, what does that mean? I have student debt. Well, I was going to have the student debt anyway. I can't get a job in the tourism industry. Well, that's not even entirely true. There's lots of other ways into it, especially maybe outside of Spain, which is a place where there's a lot of regulations, a lot of different exams to be an official anything. Not every country has that level. And I thought also, what if it means that people won't like me, they'll be disappointed in me? I thought about all of the worst case scenarios on an emotional level as well as a career level, lots of other things. You can journal about it. And so once you've gotten all those ideas out about survival, then you realize, hey, there's actually some things I could do. Even if that happens, I can survive, If my business doesn't work, I can get a traditional job. I can rely on family or also my ability to be resilient. I've experienced setbacks in the past, and I have figured my way out. I work hard. I can figure something out. I have VIP Kid, which is a teaching platform that I really love, and I just enjoy teaching little kids. They're all little kids who are located in China, and you teach them English. And I do quite well there. I can keep myself busy doing that and always make a minimum income doing that. I also know that my family, my parents, love me no matter what, and they're not going to be disappointed in me. I even talked to them about it to make sure that, I wasn't just making that up. They really did support me. And I realized I could survive it. Even if the worst case scenario happened, I could survive it. And chances are that worst case scenario won't. And on the other hand, it could be so good. I can work on my business and it could be really successful, and I could have a lot of freedom, and I could really help a lot of people. I can save myself 9 months doing something that I'm not passionate about, that's not taking me where I want to go, where I'm actually actively miserable, and keep that 9 months of my life for me. It's something that actually moves me forward and can be a period of time when I'm actually enjoying myself and exploring intentionally. And, you can make back the money for the student debt. It's hard, absolutely, but you can make that money back. You can't create that time again. Once that 9 months is gone, it's gone. So it was just clear to me. And so, talking about support, I was curious what the response would be when I made the decision, and I shared it on Instagram, I shared it in a blog post, and I literally only got positive responses. Supportive, you go girl, it makes a lot of sense, all those kinds of responses, which was a wonderful feeling, of course. And you could take it as a sign of validity, like, I made the right decision because everyone agrees with me and everyone can give their own points as to why it was the right decision. But I didn't need to take it that way. And even if some people had responded negatively, because I had taken the time to intentionally fail, that faithful attempt in learning, and I had gone through the worst case scenarios, and I had figured out what my intuition was telling me and what would make me happy, and the opportunities that I freed myself up for. So even if I'm not successful now, I'm setting myself still on a path with intention. I have some goals. I have something else to do, I felt comfortable enough with my decision and excited enough about it that I didn't need to take those supportive messages as validation. And instead it was evidence of the community of people that I've built around me and the relationships, whether it's with people who are personally my friends or my family, or with people I've worked with, or people I've only just met through Instagram or through my blog, who I've always supported and who are showing me support as well. Coming into the world and doing my best and trying to be a good person and connect with people and be authentic has helped me create a community of people that I can sincerely thank for loving and supporting me. And so to kind of finish off this talk about the decision to fail and why it's actually, in its own way, a success. You can fail successfully. I wanted to read that little paragraph in Marie Forleo's book, again, Everything is Figure-Outable, that helped me see what she meant by failing can be a faithful attempt in learning. So let me find the page, because apparently I did not plan it very well. Let's see. All right. Think about the word fail like this. It's a faithful attempt in learning. That's it. A faithful attempt in learning. It's nothing to fear and nothing to avoid. From this perspective, failure is not a glitch in your figure-outable journey. It's a must-have feature. As cliche as it sounds, you can only truly fail if you stop learning and growing.